The daily FX market review for the trading day ending Tuesday, August 12th. Well, firstly to the Euro US dollar, and here we've seen a change of trend today. This second last candle on the chart here is the one we're analysing. A candle that's made a lower high and a lower low, and importantly a candle that's closed down below the Tenkan-sen indicator, giving us a bearish market in the short term time frame as well as the medium and the longer term time frame. A very small black body candle in line with the black body of the previous day, so momentum in net terms is still with the sellers, but it's still a very small amount of momentum, and nothing of a match for the upside momentum that we saw 2 candles ago with this very large white body candle. Now, what's happened with this candle? Even though the trend has changed to the downside, we've seen the sellers fail to maintain control of the market. And we've seen the market close up between the midpoint level and the high, suggesting that the buyers have closed with control. It's not strong control, it's moderate control. But the important thing here is that what you want to see in a downtrend is the sellers taking control. Now, the problem here for the sellers is that this rejection from lower levels occurred at this level down around the roughly around the 133.50, and for 4 of the past 5 consecutive candles we've seen the market testing down below there and being rejected from there, and today was no different. The sellers lost commitment as they tested down below 133.50 and just beyond there down to roughly 133.30. So a large zone of support for this market, and the sellers will need to be strong enough to break out down below there if they are going to continue this trend to the downside. So there is an opportunity here for the buyers to come into the market. Now, the problem for the buyers is they have overhead resistance at the Tenkan-sen trading 133.88. They have overhead resistance at the 133.98 previous support and resistance level. So some strong resistance overhead for this market. What we'd like to see here, and in line with the trend being down in all 3 time frames, what we'd like to see is the sellers build some momentum. So the market closing down within this area or below, and a solid bearish candle closed down below the midpoint level, and a black body candle will give us some confidence that the sellers are attempting to build some momentum for a test down to lower levels, and that would be in line with the trending action that we're seeing in terms of Ichimoku. Now, if we just look at the Fibonacci projection technique and look at the swings here, we're comparing this current first time frame downswing that the market's into the previous time the market was trending down. And here we've seen the market testing below the 50% level and below the 61.8% level and being rejected from there. So it does suggest that there is a possibility of a change of trend. So that's something that we do need to consider. So we should be watching this area around the Tenkan-sen and the current high very, very closely. But at the moment, as this current candle is developing, we are seeing some selling coming into the market. Moving next to the US dollar Japanese yen, and here we see a continuation of the trend to the upside, candle making a higher high and a higher low, but on a very weak indecisive candle. A spinning top type candle suggests indecision. So where we had the buyers previously taking control of the market, changing the trend to the upside and a breakout up above the Kijun-sen, we've seen the market stall here to a degree. We have seen, importantly, the market take out 102.19 resistance, but we've seen the resistance at the Tenkan-sen hold, and the market's failed to close above there. We've seen this shadow extend just above the Tenkan-sen, and that represents the buyers losing commitment up above that Tenkan-sen indicator, and it will be very important resistance to this market moving forward. Now, if the buyers can rally the market and test to the 102.47 level and then beyond, we could see this market testing higher. But here we have a market that's caught between the resistance at the Tenkan-sen and the support at the Kijun-sen. So in effect, we're in no man's land here at the moment. So what we have in longer terms is the market bullish by trading above the cloud, bullish by trading above the Kijun-sen, but only just, and pretty much neutral by closing just at the Tenkan-sen. So we're looking for the buyers to come in line with the uptrend in the higher timeframes. Now the Chica span here is now above the corresponding price action, so it's supporting the bullishness in the longer term timeframes and suggesting that we could see the buyers come in and trade higher. But remember, we have this indecisive candle here. It certainly doesn't say anything about the strength of the buyers here. What we want to see is the buyers strong to confirm the upside in those higher timeframes. a solid bullish candle and a test to 102.47 could see the buyers building enough momentum to break out up above there, or they could even break out over the next trading day. But also we should be now watching the 102.19 level as support, as we're seeing this current candle develop, and below there we do have strong support at the kitchen. So a market that's really trying to make its mind up at the moment. Next to the Aussie dollar, US dollar, and here we see more indecision in this market. For the past 3 consecutive trading days, we've seen spinning top type candles, and as we're looking at this current candle develop, we're seeing a spinning top form. Now, it might not end up like that, but at the moment, as it's forming, there is indecision, and that is in line with these 3 previous candles. Now, the important thing with those 3 previous candles, however, that even though they're indecisive candles, the buyers have been unable to trade the market up through that 92.78 level of previous support, which is now resistance. So here we have the market trading down below the cloud, below the Kijun-sen and the Tenkan-sen, supported by the Chiká span, suggesting that the market is negative in all 3 time frames. If we look at the attempted rally here after this very substantial bearish candle that we saw after the market tested to the cloud, the rally from the buyers has been very, very weak, and pretty much what we'd expect to see here following a very strong extreme candle, as we saw with this black body candle, is the market going sideways or attempting to rally up through here. But it does suggest that this 92.78 level is a very, very strong level and an important level. Now, if we can rally through there, there's potentially strong resistance at the 93.05 level at the Tenkan-sen, but this market is certainly looking as though the sellers are going to come in line with the trend being down in all 3 time frames. So we're waiting for the sellers to start to build some momentum. At the moment, as this current candle is developing, it's an indecisive spinning top type candle, but it is a white body candle, suggesting that there is some momentum in net terms with the buyers. So no sign here yet that the sellers are going to come into the market. But if we look at the market making series of lower peaks and lower troughs here, the second time frame trend is down, as well as the first time frame trend here as well. Now, if the sellers do come in, however, we have very, very strong support at 92.21. If we look back here in the recent past, this market has been tested on multiple occasions, and we saw strong buying coming in. So a breakout down below these levels here and the current candle here certainly wouldn't give us a lot of confidence in the market breaching the 92.21 level. What we want to see is a solid bearish breakout down below 92.21. So we do need to think here and be a little bit cautious about any potential downside and the extent of it, and the strength of the previous support that we've seen down below this area here. Next to the US dollar Swiss franc, and here we see once again the market testing up through this 91 level and being rejected from there. All of this trading that we've seen over the past couple of weeks has seen the market trading up above the 90.61 level, in line with the bullishness in all 3 time frames previously, above the cloud, the Kijun-sen, the Tenkan-sen, supported by the Chiká span. But then we saw the market losing, the buyers losing commitment above 91, and also at the time prior to the recent trading, finding support at the 90.61 level and at the Tenkan-sen. We then had the bearish breakout down below the Tenkan-sen and below the 90.61 level. No follow through, but the buyers coming in. And at the moment here we see another white body candle for the close of today, but a larger shadow on the top, where the buyers have failed to take control of the market. So it really doesn't give us a lot of confidence in the buyers trading the market to the upside, but not a lot of confidence in the sellers closing down below this 90.61 level again. And even if they do, there's potentially strong support at the swing low here, at the low at 90.30, and below there down at the Kijun-sen at roughly about the 90 level. What we should expect to see, if the buyers are strong enough, is a breakout up above this region. I'd like to see a solid bullish close into this region if possible, within this area that the market was rejected from, and it could signify a change of sentiment and the buyers are attempting to build momentum to the upside, and that would be in line with the market being bullish in all three timeframes in terms of Ichimoku. If we see that, we could see the market testing to the 91.28 level and then possibly an assault above that area. But at the moment, we just need to be patient, watch how the market reacts to this 91 level and the Tenkan Sen, which is trading at 90.72, and the area of support at 90.61.